Hey guys, welcome back to another Flashback review. And this review, I'm going to be talking about a movie that is on a very short list of films that I admire as a musical movie, and that is Eva, starring Madonna and Antonio Banderas. This is a movie that really surprised me when I saw it. I heard about it. I heard it was pretty much 98.9% music and only a few percent dialogue, but it didn't really matter at that point. I wanted to see it. I wanted to see how well it does, especially since it had high praises. And when I finally saw it, I my jaw just dropped. This was one of the best films that came out that year, and from being that it stars Madonna, who, if we are really honest, did not had a very strong success in movies during the 80s and even the 90s and even the 2000s. To see this film really was a breath of fresh air because it showed just how truly talented in a music level she was. She is a magnificent singer, and she really did own this role. The only other film, honestly, if you want to be my honest opinion, that I actually liked her in was A League of Their Own, and I'll get to that in the near future. But to simply put, this film follows the story of the rise and even the fall of Evita Peron. It tells the story of her upbringing, from her from the very beginning of her being shut out from her family's father's funeral, to her rising up to fame by pretty much being controversial. Basically, the film indicated that she slept around to reach to the top, but eventually she became even more powerful than even some of the politicians in Israel, because she fell in love with a colonel, Colonel Peron. And it pretty much, the whole story just shifted into her and Colonel Peron pretty much falling in love, getting together. The film also indicated that there was other intentions, which they were, which led to Colonel Peron being arrested, which led to Evita, pretty much starting a revolution, getting him free. He ran for president, one presidency, but make no mistake about it, the real reason why people voted for them, at least from this film adaptation, it was because of Evita. She was the voice of the people, and the people really did admire her. And it really did show how all this transpired, especially in the musical. It really surprised me how much I was really engaged in this story, because I heard of Evita. I just didn't read up on the history of Evita. And this movie, like A League of Their Own, surprisingly, have really forced me to actually say I want to know more about this symbol of Argentina, and I really did think this movie did its job on that. The film also surprised me with Antonio Banderas' performance. I thought that was one of the best performances I've ever seen, because he sung, and it shocked the hell out of me. He played pretty much a phantom character, where he is either a bartender, next thing you know he's a reporter, next thing you know he's with the revolution, and it was kind of weird kind of character he had, but it actually worked for this film. It really worked for this film. A lot of other characters really worked for this film as well, but I think most importantly, this was definitely Madonna's role. This was her moment. This was her equilibrium, and this was the highest point in her movie career, that I feel that really showed a lot in this film. She really worked it hard for this film. And being that she had to go through a lot of costume change, I believe this film holds the record for the most costume change in a film, and her really just basically singing her lines from beginning to end really did pay it off. I think that because she sung her lines, really made this film very good. There was a lot of controversy, of course, with this movie. A lot of historians were very keeping a close eye on the historical facts, especially those in Argentina. They wanted to make sure that this this legend, this historical figure, this one of their great leaders, was not smeared or misrepresented in any bad way that could tarnish her reputation. From what I read about it, this is a very unique person. She died at a very young age, and it showed that decline, her health decline. From what I've read, it was cancer, and from what I've seen here, it really showed. And Madonna actually played it very, very well. The ending, however, was kind of weird. They showed, because in the beginning of the film, she was already gone, which is not surprising. I think this is like the fourth time I saw a film where the main character has died, and then they just told her, then they just went right straight to how she lived, all the way to her fall from, not pretty much from grace, but her health, which pretty much ended her political as well as her life. They actually showed that, and the film begins with uh, with a very good number that Antonio Banderas actually sung. What a circus or what a show, I believe that was the main title. But it really sets the tone of what you expect. And once I heard that song, I said, yeah, this is gonna be a musical. But that song by itself really caught me. I said, this is a good song. I really want to see more. And it really was a very interesting song, because it showed one hand she was a great legend. She did a lot of things for the people, but as the song kept going down, you actually hear that there was actually kind of bitterness that she wasn't supposed to die. She was supposed to be immortal, and that the fact that because of her health, she hadn't really done anything. I believe during her last few years of life. And the movie, that song really sets up what you was going to see in that film, and you did saw a lot of that throughout the film. You saw her rise from power. You saw what she did to the people. You saw how much of a negative influence she had to those who opposed her. And you also saw her fall from grace, which the ending pretty much showed. Everybody's looking at a coffin, and it pretty much ended there. Which was kind of a weird way to end a musical, but then again, this is a musical and it goes by different rules. But in any case, I really did enjoy this film. I really love this movie. And for a person who's very critical of musicals, because sometimes musicals, if not done right, can be pretty much a mess. Some musicals are very hard to put on the big screen, especially during the running time. Broadway shows aren't really the same feeling as you put it into to the big screen. For the simple fact is, with Broadway show, there's a lot more words than the actual, actual visual. And this one is a lot more visual. You actually see a lot more, and you have to learn how to match the music with what the visual is trying to tell you. And this one, it actually did it right. It did it very, very good. I've seen a lot of Broadway musical movies that didn't do it good, and it really disappointed me. Producers is definitely one of them. But again, this is a movie I actually did enjoy, I actually like, and there's really not many bad scenes I can say. Everybody was perfect in this film. This film didn't do bad in the box office. It didn't do good, but it didn't do bad either. Madonna was nominated for a Golden Globe, well deserved. The Academy Awards, I think they were snubbed. I think they won. I think they were nominated for best costumes, because they had a lot of costumes. But other than best musical, I'm not too sure. I know Madonna was nominated for Academy at the that year. But for the award she did get nominated, I think it was well deserved. It is pretty much, in my opinion, her last great film. Before her decline with the other films swept away, and some other film I can't get my name of, but I pretty much know that was pretty much the slow downfall in the films in terms of her movie career. But if anything else, if you want to see what Madonna can do, you've got to check out Evita. Evita is probably one of her best work in the films. Many people will try to disagree with me. I think a lot of people still consider Who's That Girl to be one of her best films. Also, you also have is A League of Their Own, where they consider her best film. And to my honest opinion, it was one of my favorite films as well. Also one of my favorite films that Madonna was in up until Evita. So Evita pretty much put that as my number one list of Madonna films I watch. And there's not too many Madonna films in my list, so definitely that's one of perhaps three. But that's pretty much the gist of it. I gave this film 4 stars when I saw it. It stays 4 stars after that. If I got anything to say, is that you have to be a musical lover to watch this movie, or at least appreciate the hard work of these actors and actresses who really put this movie into play. I really commend you. If you're gonna watch this, be prepared. You're gonna listen to a lot of music, and also this is also very important. Don't buy the soundtrack until you see the movie because the soundtrack is pretty much song for song, no edited in the movie. So if you listen to the soundtrack first and then see the movie, you'll probably get your experience ruined. You want to see the movie first. Then, if you love the music from beginning to end, go get the soundtrack. It's definitely worth the investment. Get the double disc soundtrack, not the single one, because that's pretty much I believe, the edited version, which I always try to stay away from. If I want to buy a movie soundtrack that has two discs and it's half the old song that was in the movie, I'm getting that from the movie, especially from musicals. Musicals, you gotta be very, very careful with. But that's just my opinion on the matter. I think this is a great film, but I also recognize that not everybody likes musicals. So if you're not a musical fan and you're not going to sit through music after music, I wouldn't recommend you buy because you're probably going to hate it. But then again, you probably will like it. You probably will be open-minded to it. Who knows? That's pretty much all I got to say for now. This is J77 saying I hope you consider this movie. Watch it on DVD. But until then, take care. Be safe. I'll talk to you soon. And thank you for listening.